Hello Internet, welcome back to an edition of Eric's Corner, Doomsday Prepping. Doing some work to the Deuce and a half. Video before where I had these holes rotted out in the top of the Deuce. They are a lot worse than they were because I had to knock all the scale off where there was no metal left pretty much whatsoever. So I'm gonna take some primer and I'm going to dump it right down in these holes. Not a crazy amount, just to let some kind of rust inhibitor get to whatever might be rusted out inside. And then I'm going to take some of this spray foam after it dries, and then I'm going to build these up where it's kind of flush. You take it, let it dry. It gets hard, of course, then you cut it off kind of flush. Then I'm going to hit it with some Flex Seal. No, they do not sponsor me. I don't know if it'll work. I was going to use 5200, which I might do a combination of the two. And then theoretically, I'm going to grind down the whole thing, a little more how that looks, and hopefully have it rhino lined. The right way to do this, it would be to grind off all these rivets, pull those off, and lay all new sheet metal on here. But that's a lot of rivets. I mean, that's more full frame off restoration type thing that, you know, hopefully I'll get to by my late 50s. So I'll post another video of the results, how it turns out. Yeah, I took this vacuum, got here and vacuumed out all the rusticles. There was plenty of crap down there. You know, got his vacuum as much as I could, and might be a good idea to throw a tarp underneath just so it doesn't make a huge mess. I'm not going to because, well, I can't find a tarp, and I don't think it's going to be too horrible. I mean, there's just stuff down there, but still don't make it even more of a mess than you have to. So stay tuned for by the end of the weekend. I should have this done. It won't be rhino lined. That's not money. I mean, it probably costs $1,000. I'm not going to have that type of money allocated for something like this for a minute, but it will at least stop the problem from getting worse and make it waterproof, hopefully underneath, where so if I put in a my camper, my wood and my preps won't get damaged. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Stay tuned. Okay, I got the foam in. I did this the same day. I felt like the primer tacked up enough, and I don't really I don't really care if it ever dries, but this thing's air's gonna leak in this so bad it should be okay. So this is what I got. As you see, some of the primer came out. This stuff, do not try to clean this stuff up while it's wet. It is the stickiest, nastiest stuff on the entire planet to try and get off of yourself. So any drops, just leave them. Trust me, it will scrape right off. And then these, you don't want to try to manipulate this really when it's wet, aside from being really sticky. I mean, if you want to take something and smooth this over to those cracks for some reason, you'll pop the bubbles and it'll just kind of go flat, in my experience. So you kind of got to leave it to its own thing. I just kind of stuck the straw back as far as I could and went till it mashed up, and then of course it keeps expanding after it's out. Another drop there. That dent I was telling you about, so you can see here where my Bondo started to tack up while I was using it, so I mixed it a little bit too hot, well, quite a bit too hot. It looks okay. I'll hit that, do a little hand sanding just to get the worst of it down. I didn't do a video because I thought that'd be kind of redundant. There's millions of hours of YouTube videos done by guys who have put thousands of gallons of this stuff on cars and have taken a Ferrari that's been wrecked and made it back to looking better than brand new. So watch their videos. But that's where I'm sitting. I'll do a third part of Flex Sealing. I'll take and clean those up a little bit, cut them off flush where I want them, clean them up, acetone them a little bit, and then hit them with Flex Seal, and I'll show you that end result. So, hey, back with the somewhat final product. I'm not quite sure where I left off my last videos. I have done them like a week apart. So through some of this 3M Fast Cure 4200, there's 5200, comes in black, white, clear, everything. They do not sponsor me, but It is the best glue on all of the planet. It's what everybody up here in Alaska, and I assume all over the world, use to keep things sealed up on their... So this is kind of what it looked like. I know it looks pretty junky. I cut some more off to try to trim it down and make it look a little better. That's with globs, and this is after I ran a putty knife over it. That's going to be about what you want it to look like. And then I'll let this cure for a day. It takes a few days, but then I'll... that's one that I didn't mess with, and just left the Flex Seal on it. So you can use Flex Seal, and the foam ended up being pretty porous, and I had some big holes, and I'm not sure what happened there. Could have put more foam in. I mean, anything will work. Low braid. So that's about what it looked like when it dries. And like I said, I put a little Bondo there because I had a little extra, and shaved this down a little bit and put another coat on there, and it's starting to kick. The other one kicked on me a little bit too fast, and of course this one I undermixed. And not doing a reason to do that is to show you I know how to do it, kinda. I don't think you guys really need any kind of proof there. So yeah, that's about what the final result is going to look like. Again, I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to Flex Seal over the top of it, and then kind of proceed with painting. I'll probably kind of show you that project. So I don't really think anything out with the Flex Seal. You're still going to have these little holes here and there, and that'll kind of be your final coat. And when you're Flex Sealing, what you in theory want to do, you want to spray it on and let it tack, which will take an hour or two. I'm not quite sure. I didn't mess with it. I've been moving my truck in and out of my buddy's shop because, like a total asshole, he needs to use his shop. I know, how dare he. But you know, a tacky coat will stick to a new coat a lot better, instead of having these hard individual fully set up layers versus having one that kind of bonds together, if that makes sense. And up here on top where it's down, you won't get the runs. You can kind of pile it on a little bit thicker versus on the side. You got to go thinner coats. Plus, you do a thin coat, it'll coat to the edges of what you're doing a little bit, and then you do another coat, and then it'll slowly kind of bring that whole together. If you don't want to just take and like over here, you don't just want to take and fill these massive voids with it, because or maybe you do and let it run down and seal some things up, like I did with the primer. This stuff is I think about 50 bucks a tube versus the Flex Seal is about 16 bucks a can. So I don't know, weigh your options, do whatever you want to do. Again, this is not really the way to fix it. The right way to fix this is rip the whole top off and redo it, which way outside my time or budget. So I just want to get it sealed up enough where I can build a camper inside and have things not get dripped on and ruined, and of course be uncomfortable and lame to sleep in. So that's it for this project. Thank you for joining me. I'll get it posted here real soon, and if you have questions, let me know. I'll throw some links in the comments about maybe how to do Bondo and what some other people have done. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you soon.